Hello, people. My name is Kow Abaka Essuman. I'm a lawyer by profession, and currently I'm the legal counsel to the President of Ghana. As legal counsel, what I do on a daily basis is to advise our President on legal, constitutional, and governance matters, sort of like the first point of call. So there are a number of things that I do in terms of giving him advice relating to his powers under the Constitution and other relevant laws, and being his liaison person, working with Parliament, working with the judiciary, and the Attorney General, who is the principal legal advisor to the government. So that's what I do on a daily basis. So the answer is no. I didn't always want to be a lawyer. My career choices changed over time. When I was in primary school, I wanted to be a pilot, and then my uncle was a pilot, died in a plane crash. And then I wanted to be, a doctor, and I didn't like chemistry. And so when I went to Prempeh College, I wanted to be an economist because I'd seen people like Kwame Pinim, and I thought they were, very brilliant and excellent. But somewhere along the line, after Prempeh College, I decided to do a course in law in London, and one thing led to another, and here I am. So when I went to London, I did a foundation course in law, and then I went to the University of Westminster, read my Bachelor of Laws degree, and then from there I had to choose as to whether I wanted to become a barrister or a solicitor. Then I chose the barrister route, and I was called to the bar in England and Wales in 2008. After that, I went to New York, went to Cornell Law School in Ithaca, New York, to do my master's in law. After that, I got admitted to the bar in New York. And then I think I went back to London, worked for a while, in high street practice. And then I came back to Ghana in 2010 or 2011. I can't really remember. But I came back to Ghana. I did what they call the post-call law course, and worked for a number of chambers. I worked for Raindor Chambers. And then I ended up at Benti in Chile and Kuma, where I was an associate in the litigation and dispute resolution practice group. And then, became the senior associate, and then finally at the position that I'm in now. So that's my legal journey in summary. So I think success, personally and professionally, they're kind of intertwined, and they go hand in hand. And I for one, link success in both to discovering what I call purpose, or what the Bible calls purpose, because you can be doing something and you not be fulfilled, or you not succeed at it. But if professionally you're doing what you're called to do, it's linked to what you personally have fulfillment in. So I might be, I might say that I'm called to be a lawyer. I mean, but that is not what I'm called to be. I mean, it's my professional capacity. But I think I'm called to be a leader. I have a leadership mantle, and so for that, succeeding as a good lawyer and succeeding personally in being a leader, then demonstrates that I have been successful. You cannot separate the two, because you the person have to be professional. So to give you an example, as a professional lawyer, I have to succeed in the sense that I have to become maybe a partner of a law firm, or head of an institution. For instance, the presidency, I'm the legal counsel, which is head of the legal department, which I created when I got there. So that's what I'd say. They're kind of like intertwined, they're connected. They cannot be separated. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, when you're much younger, success to you means like having a lot of money and driving a nice car, and being able to do a lot of things. But as you grow older, you become more aware of the world that you live in and the community that you're in, and you realize that success isn't all about those other things. I can give you a very good example. When I was in legal practice, when you have a case where a widow walks to you, they have no money, they have no means of paying you, and the family are trying to get maybe property that belongs to them, or their late husband has left to them from the widow, and you go all out and you represent them, and you succeed in the case. That is much more fulfilling than any amount of money that the widow can pay you. So for me, I think that the success has evolved. And then as you grow older, you realize that your responsibility to your community overrides the demand for money and all that. That's not to say that money is not important. It is very important, but you realize that as you're meeting the demands of your community, your needs also get met some way, somehow. I don't know. That's how God works. But you find that you're at peace, and then people are taking care of things that you would have been worried about if you were not taking care of the needs of others. So when I was in university, I remember those days very well. You're very anxious about the future. You don't know where you're going to work, whether you're even going to get a job. If I tell you the number of applications that I sent out and got bounced, not getting a job for a long time, you would not believe it, but I'm sitting here. So I'll tell you, I mean, what I would say to someone in university going to start out is, be patient, make sure that you look for every opportunity. There's always room at the top. That is what Kojo Bentiencho told me the first time I met him, that there's always room at the top. So don't rush. Don't think that the top is just for one person. There's a lot of room there. So focus, do a lot of reading, speak to a lot of people that are in your chosen career or industry. I mean, those who have gone ahead of you, they will have nuggets of wisdom that you would find very useful in your journey. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep pushing. And one thing that I'll say is that don't cut corners, because once you cut corners, or when you cut corners, they eventually find you out. But when you go through the process and you trust the process, the end result is always very beneficial. Wow, a personality trait. I think that every leader should have a spirit of humility. You should be humble, and humble at the same time, very arrogant. I know it's a little bit ironic, but you should be humble enough to listen to what people want to say to you. You should be humble enough to be open to ideas. Not every leader knows everything, and you will not know everything, and you might miss a lot of things, in your blind spot and so on and so forth. But if you're humble enough, people will approach you and tell you things that you would not know. And when I say you should also be arrogant, you should be very, strong about the things that you believe in. To the extent that people think that you're arrogant about it. Let me give you an example so that I'm not misconstrued. So, for instance, if you're defending a client, or you're representing a group of people, you should be so confident about the needs of the people. So, for if you're speaking to another community of people or another leader, you should be able to advocate or be very eloquent and strong and arrogant about the fact that your people are the best, or the needs of your people are paramount to you, or override the other leaders' needs, or so on and so forth. So you might come across as such, but it's very beneficial to the people that you're leading. So maybe arrogant may not be the right word, but I think that's the what I mean by as a leader. You should be able to stand for your people regardless of the um, the outcome or the circumstances, and let people think that the way you're defending your people or the people that you're leading is in an arrogant way. So that's what I'd say are the traits that a leader should have. In the past, I'd have said yes. I would like to do things differently. But now, where I'm sitting, I'd say no. Um, because I don't know whether you know of the butterfly effect. When you go back into time and you make some changes, they have very significant effects on the future. So my answer to that would be no, and my answer to that is grounded in scripture in Romans chapter 8 verse 28, which essentially says that those who all things work out for the good for those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. So if that is the case, then it means that everything that I've been through, has contributed to shaping me to the person that I am today. And that if I had probably changed one ugly thing in the past, I wouldn't be sitting here. I might be in a worse state. But I've had to learn from every mistake and every opportunity that I've lost to make the best of every opportunity that I've sort of gained. So, no, I don't think I'll change anything. If I was to go back 20 years and say something to myself, I would say that have a lot of fun, because 20 years later you wouldn't have the time. Do a lot of reading, meet a lot of people, be nice to people, network a lot, and enjoy the freedom that you have. Interestingly, when I was going through the period where I was applying for a lot of jobs and I was getting bounced and bounced and bounced, one of my very senior cousins said to me that, you know what, why are you wasting your time applying for jobs? Just enjoy life. And I was like, you are working me, I want to work. You're telling me to enjoy life. But really, that was the best advice, because once I got into work, I realized that, there were no breaks and you don't get to enjoy life. So enjoy life, travel, have experiences that you can share. That is what I'll say to my younger self.